Wafula Kenneth.
The former executive director of Mulago National Referral Hospital, Dr. Baterana, together with other 7 co-accused, battling with the charges of abuse of office and causing financial loss to government of over 10 billion shillings, appeared at the Anti-Corruption Court for ruling on their bail application. Magistrate Abadi Asimwe, after reviewing Dr. Byalugaba's sureties and application, was satisfied and released him on a cash bail of 10 million Ugandan shillings. However, the court set stringent bail terms.
Counsel for the applicant, Mr. Kamukama, struggled heavily to appeal to court that the accused person was sick and in the recent past, he was bedridden at Kampala Hospital. He went ahead to allege that it is where he was picked from while being brought for pre-taking. Medical discharge form was submitted in court indicating that the applicant was admitted at Kampala Hospital on 11th June and was discharged on 18th June 2024, a day to appearing in court. Even on 19th June 2024, the day of pre-taking, the accused or applicant appeared sickly and had a cannula on the hand. Therefore, I find that with this medical condition, having presented substantial sureties as indicated above, the applicant deserves to be released on bail, and I accordingly do so on the following terms. 1. The applicant is released on a cash bail of Uganda shillings 10 million. He shall surrender his original passport and considering the fact that it is in the custody of the state shall surrender it to court on or by next adjournment. Condition number 3, the applicant shall not leave this country without knowledge and permission of this court. And each of the sureties is bound in the sum of Uganda shillings 100 million, not cash, considering that the applicant is the accounting officer. 5, the applicant, who is you, Dr. Byarugaba, you are cautioned to desist from temptations of interfering with prosecution witnesses when the case is being heard until it is finalized. Failure to do that, if the prosecution brings evidence that you are interfering with investigation, you are interfering with its witnesses, we shall cancel your bail and remand you to prison, and you attend your trial while you are coming from prison.
Being the head of accounts at Mulago Hospital, Kataha Edward was also released on a cash bail of 10 million Ugandan shillings.
Sureties presented by applicant number 2, Engineer Kataha Edward. She was introduced to court by a letter of LC originating from Nakaba's LC1, which referred to her as a wife to the applicant number 2, the fact she admitted in court. She presented to court a national ID with these national ID and the employment ID. With these credentials, I am satisfied that she is a competent surety. Surety number 2, Nakayara Margaret was an assistant education officer at Kagurwe Secondary School with a valid national ID and work ID expiring on 31st December 2029. She is a sister-in-law to the applicant and as a teacher with a permanent address in the area, and with a recommendation of LC1 chairperson of Nakaba's LC1, which is the same village where the applicant resides, and with her relationship with the applicant, I find her substantial surety capable of ensuring that A2, applicant number 2, attends court as and when required. And considering the number of charges against applicant number 2, Engineer Kataha Edward, the applicant is released on a cash bail of Uganda shillings 8 million. He shall surrender his original passport number B1272452. The applicant shall not leave this country without knowledge and permission of this court. Each of the sureties is also to be bound in the sum of Uganda shillings 50 million, not cash. The applicant equally, like I've done for applicant number 1, is cautioned to desist from temptations of interfering with prosecution investigation when the case is getting or is still hard. I would actually advise that you are not supposed. You should desist from temptations of frequenting Mulago National Referral Hospital. because your presence can easily be misinterpreted. That's an advice, it is not a command. It turns into a command when the prosecution brings evidence that your being there was because you wanted. Kenneth Tibeijuka. Kenneth Tibeijuka is an assistant commissioner accounts with Ministry of Education and Sports. He presented original national ID, work ID, passport, and recommendation letter of LC1. I equally find him substantial. Baliku Dembe Henry is a principal accountant working with Ministry of Finance, Planning, and Economic Development. He presented original national ID, identity card, work ID, passport, and recommendation letter from LC1. I equally find him substantial. The last surety was Ngorobe Patrick, who is the Director, Administration and Transport, Logistics of Parliament of Uganda. He presented original national ID, original work ID, passport, and recommendation letter from LC1. I find him substantial. Therefore, I find that with the medical condition which the applicant explained to court, having presented substantial sureties, the applicant too deserves to be released on bail. In conclusion, based on the strengths of sureties presented, I proceed to release the accused person on bail under the following terms. 1. The applicant is released on a cash bail of Uganda shillings 10 million. Why? This is a senior accountant. He's in charge of the movements of all the monies. He cannot be responsible like the engineer who signed somewhere and then he waits for the process to move. He shall surrender his original passport, A00708218. The applicant shall not leave this country without knowledge and permission of this court. Each of the sureties is also bonded in the sum of Uganda shillings 100 million. The applicant, which is not cash, the applicant is cautioned to desist from temptations of interfering with prosecution witnesses when the case is being heard. Sureties presented by applicant number 5, Mr. Wafula Kenneth. Applicant number a private mile land title comprised in block 169 plot 14597 measuring 0.0570 hectares, registered in the names of Wafula Kenneth Patrick Othieno. At this level, I would implore the state to get the true names of this person when it comes to, for purposes of charges. You could have left some other names. With the search certificate, he presented a total of 3 sureties whose summary of detailed particulars is as below. Madeo Godfrey is a friend and a consultant orthopedic surgeon introduced to court by LC chairperson of Namugongo Burobi, Cell, Chari Wajera in Kira municipality. He was recommended to court by a clinical head of orthopedic surgeon under the Directorate of Surgical Services. To prove his nationality, Madeo tendered both his passport, national ID, and in addition, submitted in court his work ID. I find him substantial. The other surety was Kanaokwa Pamela, who is said to be a childhood friend of the applicant. She is a senior lecturer working with Makerere University and a dean of School of Liberal and Performing Arts with effect from 1st July 2023 and expiring on 30th June 2027. She presented original national ID, work ID, recommendation letter of LC1 as a resident of Masanafu Chinonya zone. I find her substantial. Dr. Adeya Vincent is a principal assistant secretary working with Health Services Commission. He presented the original national ID, work ID, and recommendation letter of LC1. He went ahead and secured the recommendation letter from the Secretary Health Service Commission that indicated that he has served the Health Service Commission for the last 5 years. With these qualities, I too find him substantial. Considering the strengths of sureties presented, in addition to depositing a certificate of title in his names, I proceed to release him on bail as follows. 1. The applicant is released on cash bail of Uganda shillings 7 million. Why? He's mitigating, reducing the money to buy the title with such certificate. Then 2, he shall surrender his original passport number A00708218. 3, the applicant shall not leave this country without knowledge and permission of this court. And 4, each of the sureties is bonded in the sum of Uganda shillings 50 million, not cash. And he is also cautioned not to interfere with prosecution investigation. Sureties presented by applicant number 6, Mr. Okware Christopher. The accused presented 3 sureties, namely 4 years, and is a friend to the accused person, an employee of Inspectorate of Government working as a supervisor, asset recovery, and resident of Naguru, Nakawa Division, Kampala District. The surety has presented a valid national identity card with NIN number CM78039110ARA2G. A recommendation letter from his workplace, i.e. the Inspectorate of Government, dated 19th June 2024, and an introduction letter of LOC dated 6th June 2024. The surety has a fixed price of abode indicated in the letter, in the LOC letter. He has a valid identity card, and given his age, I find him substantial to direct the accused person to come to court as and when required. Surety number 2, Okware Paul Equiras. He is aged 46 and a brother to accused person, a chief stores operations officer, National Medical Stores, and resident of Nabisunsa, Nakawa Division, Kampala District. The surety presented a national identity card and employment identity card, a recommendation letter from his employer, and an introductory letter from one of his area of residence. I find him substantial, considering that he has a fixed place of abode. The last surety is Kizitonasu Winnie. Surety is aged 46, a friend to the accused person and director, Namaliri Mixed Growers Limited, and resident of Lange B, Lunguja, Rubaga Division, Kampala District. She presented a national identity card, a certificate of incorporation of the said company, company form 8, and a bank statement of the said company. With the above, I find her substantial, given the fact that she has a fixed place of abode within the jurisdiction of court, and being a friend to a accused person, I believe she can compel him to come to court as and when required. The applicant is accordingly granted a cash bail of 10 million since he has presented substantial sureties. He is thus ordered to deposit his original passport with court until the case is concluded, and during the trial of this case, he shall not leave this country without knowledge of this court and its permission. He is further cautioned to desist from temptations of interfering with the investigation or witnesses of the prosecution, as this will lead to automatic cancellation of bail. Sureties presented Akamchunguzi. Pardon? Yes. Sureties presented by applicant number 7. For A6. Oh, that is 50 million. Sorry, I'm sorry about it. No. Okay. Bonded in the sum of Uganda shillings 50 million. And should do the terms. Actually, the terms of all these other accused persons, they are general terms I'm giving. Number 1, non-interference with prosecution investigation. Number 2, not leaving this country without permission of court. Number 3, surrendering the original passport. That is applicable to every accused person. So any accused person, save for Dr. Baterana, whose passport court was informed that is with prosecution. The rest are supposed to surrender to to deposit their passport with court. Surety terms, I will edit them as when I retire to make an edited copy, but those terms applies to every person. Then surety is presented by A7, applicant number 7, Ada Kamuchunguzi. The applicant presented 5 sureties, namely Seru Morris, Dr. Otari, Mary, Ario Bestason, Amumpeire Barbara, and Ashaba Edgar. Seru Morris was said to be aged 60 years and is the husband of the accused person, an assistant commissioner, pharmaceutical quality assurance at the Ministry of Health, and resident of Bukaya West, Njeru Division, Buikwe District. He presented his national identity card, his employment ID, a certificate of title comprised in his register volume 240 block 295 plot 2 land in Chagwe, registered in the names of Seru Morris, and also presented an introductory letter from LC1 of his area of residence. Given his relationship as a husband of the accused person and his status in society, in addition to depositing his certificate of title with court, and the fact that he has a fixed place of abode, I am convinced that he will compel the accused person to attend court and therefore find him a substantial surety. Surety number 2 is Dr. Otari Emile. Surety was said to be aged 53 years old, a friend to the accused person, a country director of Cassis Project and resident of Mulago, Kira Town Council, Wakiso District. She has presented a national ID, a recommendation letter from her employer, an introduction letter from LC1 of her area of residence, a bank statement of the said company, and a certificate of title of block 155 plot 1565, registered in the names of Otari Emile Kojo of PO Box 205, Fort Potro. The surety having a fixed place of abode, a valid identity card, expressing commitment to deposit her certificate of land title with court, is a clear commitment that she will be able to compel the accused person to come to court. I thus find her substantial. Ashaba Edgar is aged 31 years old. He is a brother to accused person and a senior sales executive at United Healthcare Distributors and resident of Ntinda. He presented a national ID, an introductory letter from the LC of his area of residence, 2 certificates of title of blocks 253 plot 717 and block 253 plot 718, land in Busiro, Wakiso, registered in the name of Ashaba Edgar. The surety has a fixed place of abode, valid identification documents, while the surety is younger than the accused, and therefore court would imagine whether he would be in a position to compel her to attend court. The surety, by offering to deposit his two land titles, indicated him as a young man that is responsible. Therefore, by virtue of his relationship as a young brother to the applicant, I believe he can always remind her to attend the court as and when required. I therefore find him substantial. Surety number 4 is aged 38 years and a sister to accused person or applicant in this matter, the program officer at HEPS Uganda and resident of Bagara Seta Ward, Mukono District. She has presented a national ID, employment ID, an introduction letter from LC of her area of residence. She has a fixed place of abode, and by virtue of her relationship with the applicant, I believe that she will be able to remind her to attend court. I therefore find her substantial. Surety number 5. The surety is aged 44 years, a friend to the accused person, financial manager at HEPS Uganda, and resident of Wakaliga, Rubaga Division in Kampala. He presented a national ID, work ID, an introduction letter from the LC of his area of residence. I will consider him a substantial surety on the fact that he has a fixed place of abode and a valid identification documents. The applicant, having presented all these sureties and considering, the applicant is accordingly granted a cash bail of 5 million. Why? Considering that she is a junior officer, she has an entry job, and therefore you cannot be treated like the executive director stroke accounting officer. Considering the fact that she is a junior officer who has presented substantial sureties and is hereby released on the strength of her sureties, I therefore order surety number 1, the husband, to the applicant to deposit a certificate of title in the names of Sir Morris, comprised in Lease Register Volume 240, Block 295, Plot 2, with court until the case is concluded. The applicant equally is cautioned to desist from temptations of interfering with prosecution witnesses, as this will lead to automatic cancellation of bail. And all the sureties are bonded in the sum of 50 million shillings, not cash. Surety 2, Mackay Francis Patrick. This surety is aged 56 years, is a friend of an accused person, a Torocom associate with World Food Program under UN, and resident of Namataba, Kirinya Ward, Kira Town Council in Wakiso District. He presented a national ID, work ID, an introduction letter from LC of his residence. I find him to be a substantial surety since he has a fixed place of abode and a valid identification documents. I am convinced that by virtue of his age, he will be able to compel the co-friend or the accused person, now in this matter the applicant, to attend court as and when is required. Surety number 3, Baguma Agure. Karubi is aged 54 years, a friend to the accused person and a senior procurement officer at Mkono Municipal Council and resident of Kerere, Goma Division, in Mkono District. He presented national ID, work ID, and introductory letter from LC of his area of residence by virtue of his employment status, and that the fact that he has a fixed place of abode, I'm convinced that he will equally compel the applicant to attend the court as and when required. I accordingly grant the applicant a cash bail of 6 million. Why? This is one family, and a wife is equally accused, and I'm yet to talk about her. 6 million, since he has presented substantial sureties and the fact that he has complied with police bond for the last 2 years. Sureties presented by Nawire Catherine Winfred, applicant number 9, the wife to A8. The applicant presented 3 sureties, namely Kagwa, $50 million. Yeah. I said I will edit it, but thank you so much for reminding me. Eh? Yes. Are you worried about that? No, these are directors of companies which can be trusted. No. Relax. Bond is a non-cash. Bond is a non-cash, but it falls due. Anyway, let me first finish. I will just talk in the language A7 and A8 understand, the language of business people, not the language of law. Okay. Surety is presented by applicant number 9, Nawire Catherine Winfred. The applicant presented 3 sureties, namely Kagwa Sara, Chizito, Chiza Rubanga, Chichoncho Miriam, and Wa. These are 5. Kagwa Sara, Chiza Rubanga, Chichoncho Miriam, and Watulasu Joyce Kathy. Oh, yes. Surety 1, Kagwa Sara Chiza Rubanga is aged 61 years old. She's a vice honorary consul at the Consulate of Canada, a friend to the accused person, and a resident of Bruno Rukuli, Makinde Division, Kampala District. She presented her national ID, her work ID, an introductory letter from LC of her area of residence. I find her to be a substantial surety as she has a fixed place of abode and properly identified herself. Surety number 2, Kichoncho Miriam. The surety is aged 45 years, a friend to the accused, a private secretary in State House, and a resident of Valintuma, Chiwatule, Nakawa Division, Kampala District. She has presented a national ID, work ID, and introduction letter from LC and her area of residence. I find her to be a substantial surety by virtue of having a fixed place of abode and proper identification document. Surety number 3 and last surety. Surety number 3 is Watulasu Joyce Kathy. Kathy is aged 51 years old, a friend to accused person, applicant in this matter, a teacher by profession and resident of Chanchima, Gayaza Chadondo Wakiso District. She has presented a national ID, work ID, and introductory letter from LC1 of her area of residence. Since she has a fixed place of abode and proper identification documents, I consider her substantial surety who will compel her friend to attend court as and when needed. The applicant is accordingly granted a cash bail of 4 million. Why? The husband is paying 6 million and she's paying 4 million, and one family is parting with 10 million. Since she has presented substantial sureties and on the fact that she has complied with her police bond for the last 2 years, as seen from her police bond presented to court. This ruling is dated this 27th day of June 2024, and I've signed it in your presence.
Although the prosecution had wanted court, Council Surety Stephen Asera, MP for Buhanguzi Chikube District, as surety for Dr. Byaluga Baterana, due to his failure to appear in court, court declined to grant the request.
To the constituency, that you notified the court of his commitment to be surety, but you notified the court in writing. Of the entire court record.
Can you read it?
Your Worship, it's from Parliament of Uganda and subjects the Trial Magistrate and Corruption Court, Kampala, Uganda. Your Worship, notification of being absent with apology on 27th June 2024. The above subject matter refers. I wish to notify you that tomorrow, Thursday, 7th June 2024, do not permit me to appear before you, Your Honorable Court. I have visitors from Safe Trust USA who funded the construction of boreholes in my constituency of Bagus East Chikwe District. Commissioning and official handover is on the same day with court. The program was made 2 months ago and I couldn't have it adjusted, neither am I able to delegate. The purpose of this communication, therefore, was to let you know that the area position standing as surety for Dr. Byaluga Baterana, my long-time friend, is still on, despite my absence. And my roles are well understood. I will ensure that he attends court as and when is required till the do final judgment. I'm very informed that is on file, and this document, anytime for any further inquiry. To regards as Stephen, MP of East Chikwe District. Especially in the circumstances, we pray that you either consider the threat to be substantial and the alternative, you take this commitment, which is in his own writing.
Can I have original letter? The one served to court is a photocopy.
Oh, sorry. That's the good. Just my worship.
May I please, Your Worship?
Yes.
We've heard the submissions by counsel in respect of the fourth surety for A1. One of the conditions for the grant of bail to A1 is that he has substantial sureties, including Mr. Sarah Stephen. And one of the conditions that the sureties are supposed to ensure that the accused person attends court at all times, that the security that court has to ensure that he will attend trial. The letter says this was a program of 2 months ago. And he knew that the matter had been adjourned to today. If this surety can fail on the very first opportunity to attend court, what security does court have in case he doesn't appear and the accused also jumps bail? The surety has demonstrated their seriousness in complying with the bail terms. I pray he's struck off the list of sureties. And considering that the grant of bail to A1 was on the strength of 4 sureties, that he be made to produce another substantial surety to replace Mr. Sarah Stevens. Yes,
Court has carefully heard the prayer made by counsel for the applicant number 1, informing court that the applicant, the surety, could not attend court because of the commitment as a member of parliament of Hagu's constituency. I have tasked counsel to read the letter written by the surety in open court, and in part I quote the content of the second last paragraph, where it is stated that I will ensure that he attends court as and when required until the day of final judgment. That is surety number 4 in his letter. This is exactly the role of a surety. While it is important that the surety signs a bail bond, the most important thing is the hard commitment of the surety, which court can at best read from the letter as quoted above. It should be remembered that the surety had left his work ID as a member of parliament and his original national ID with the court. And his commitment itself, and his national ID and his work ID. He committed himself before court and in writing that he remains committed as a surety. Court also take note of the fact that while the applicant, while the surety could have attended court on 24th day of June 2024 to stand surety for his long friend, he had no way of knowing that court would adjourn to today, the 27th day of June. It should be remembered that the practice of court is that the applicant should produce at least 2 sureties, as was the case for applicant number 2, Engineer Kataha. This, at least 2 substantial sureties. This court found all the 4 sureties substantial, and meaning that the accused person, the applicant in this matter, had more than enough than those required by the practice of court. The state advised that surety number 4 be dropped. With the greatest respect, I find that it is safer for both court and the prosecution to have many people held accountable for the presence of the accused person. Therefore, I direct that the 3 sureties shall be the ones to sign the bond, and the letter addressed to this court, dated 26th day of June 2024, shall be construed as the equivalent to the signature of the witness, and therefore for avoidance of any doubt, while A1 will have 3 sureties signed on his bond, he has a total of 4 sureties by operation of this letter and commitment. The honorary member of parliament whose constituency made in court. Yeah? And the letter is construed as the signature of A4 on a bail bond. So he remains a surety, much as he will not sign. By operation of this letter, I retain him as a surety.
Court has also issued a criminal summons against Batanda Perez and Nyeko Posiano, who have failed to appear in court.
Summons issues against A3, and A3 is Nyeko Ponziano, and A10, who is Batanda Perez, and the matter is adjourned for mention on 5th of August 2024 at 9 a.m. Let the state conclude investigations for the reason that the trial can be quickly handled and the fate of the accused persons determined. I wish you good time. Thank you for being a very good audience. I pray that even next time you behave like that. For those who had just come to spectate, you can go. But the sureties of the accused persons, the applicant in this matter can remain, because at a certain time you'll be required to sign the bail bonds. Thank you. I wish you a blessed day.
In this case, Dr. Baterana Baterana is accused of abuse of office and causing financial loss to government of over 6.3 billion shillings. Some of the fraudulent acts committed by the accused, which led to multi-billion loss, included the purported supply of consumables for non-existing autographs. The accuser also said to have caused multiple payments totaling to 1.7 billion shillings to Setramaco International Limited for the alleged relocation and installation of multi-iron and steam cooking pans from Lower to Upper Mulago. Despite these activities having already been paid by the hospital, prosecution alleges that the 8 committed these offences between 2015 and 2020. All the charges against the accused carry maximum sentence of 21 years. The court resumed on 5th August 2024 for mention.